done?
Yeah, just pushed it in.
Okay, guys. So I guess for myself, just going through some of my notes today. Something I wanted to help you with a little bit is developing your story when being able to share that with people. And I came back across something that Linda shared with me a little while ago, and I took some notes, and it was a really good way. And if you've got a pen and paper, you might want to take some notes down on it, or you can watch the recording later. Tanika can put it up. But basically, there's 4 parts to building your, and this is around your business story, first of all, okay? And it is called PLOT, so P-L-O-T. So that's the 4 parts. And I guess for myself, I really struggled with trying to do my business story until I did this. And it was a really good exercise and really mapping out each part of developing your story. So I hope it helps you guys. So the first one is pain, okay? So why you came into this business and what life was like before Juice Plus. So that is something, obviously everyone's going to have a different pain, a different thing that was happening, but that's the first part. So just identifying, what was happening. So I guess for someone like Tanika, she was working in a school, having to, juggle the children, wasn't able to go on holidays, had to ask for time off. They were probably her pain points of what she was doing before Juice Plus came into her life. The next one is L for learn. So what have you learnt so far? And I guess with that part is when you come into the business, you come in on a pain point, but then you learn a little bit more about why you actually came in. And to share a little bit of myself, I looked back over my notes and thought, what was it back then? Because this was quite some time ago that I did mine. And mine was I didn't want to live week to week like my mum. And I learned that Juice Plus could provide something for me to ensure I didn't have to do that. And it's also a plan B, for me as well, because I had the gyms. So the next one is learn. The next part is opportunity. So what's the opportunity that you see? So this is more around what you find Juice Plus can be for you. So whether it can help you be a stay-at-home mom, if it's going to help you create a travel fund, your husband to be able to work less, all those different things. And it'll be different for everybody, but what you see that this opportunity can be for you is the next part of being able to share your story. And then the last one, the T, is the triumph. So what has it done for you? So some of you that are new, guys, I know that you probably don't have that yet, and that's okay. That will come with time, and it's going to change as well. Like I look at my story, it's changed so many times over the journey, and it will continue to change, but that's okay. It's more about developing your story now so that when someone comes to you, you're able to share. They say to you, what do you do? What is this all about? You'll have this ready and this mapped out, and it will flow nicely, and you'll be able to share exactly what it is you do and why you do it. And you'll find that when you start sharing like that, you're sharing from the heart, it really resonates with people. Even if they're not got the same pain points or want the same opportunity, as you, it really can resonate with people. And no one can argue with you your story. So if you try and talk about Juice Plus and what the business is and what it can do and all these kinds of things, they can argue that point. But if you share your own true story, then no one can argue with that. It's your story, you own it. And that's, sorry, someone trying to talk to me? No. So yeah, you can own that story and they can't argue with you. And people know when you're sharing from the heart, and especially if it's people that are close to you, your friends, they understand that story because they know what you've been through. So that was one of the first things, was sharing that the business story. And generally you want to try and keep it within sort of, if you're doing it on Zoom, 1 to 2 minutes. And the hardest part is if you're going to do it out in, I guess, in a shopping centre with someone that you don't know, is you really need to kind of refine it to a 30-second share. And that would really need a lot of tweaking. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't 100% mastered it, and I change it each time, but that's how we learn. So try and work on that, guys. And don't get wrapped up in it, because there's no right or wrong story. It's your story. So don't worry about other people's stories. Just share from those different 4 parts. And it's amazing how quickly your story comes together when you use those 4 parts. It really helps you and gives you some direction on being able to create your story. So I'm just looking over my notes and what I wanted to do. Okay, so then your product story. So when developing your product story, there's really only 2 things that you want to focus on. So why did you start taking Juice Plus in the beginning, and what have you noticed? Okay, so if you compare those 2 things, why did you start and what have you noticed? It is so powerful. And once again, it will resonate and no one can argue with you, because it's your story as to why you came into it. And it needs to be about 30 seconds as well. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle, because we get so, especially when we're in the business, I guess, we get so excited about what it is and what it's all about, that we, want to share more and more. But if you're on Zoom, that's okay to share for 1 to 2 minutes. It's not such an urgency, but it's more when we're out, if we are meeting someone that we don't know, and you've had a bit of a conversation and you think, oh, I think this can help them, then, it's when you can share your little product story. And they probably don't want to listen to you, for a few minutes, go on about it. So 30 seconds is what we need to try and, put that down to. The other thing which I wanted to touch a little bit it was just reflection. And I guess it's come up because I guess most of you, know that, Danielle is pretty much no longer in the business anymore. So I've had to work with her team a little bit and just helping them and to grow. And there's always, and Adam shares it a lot, when we're struggling with something in the business, it's generally about a belief in that. So I came across a couple of things that I've been working on a lot for myself of late. And a few things that I think has really helped me is constantly checking in on a number of different things. And the things that I check in with, and it's up to you if you want to write them down or not, but it's belief in the industry. And I rate myself from a 0 to a 10 on where my belief is at that point in time. You might have an incredibly strong belief at some point, but then something might happen along the line. There might be somebody that has a really massive impact in your life and really challenges you on that, and your belief might drop a little bit. So belief in the industry. The next one is belief in the product. And then the support around us. You'll be surprised how much of an impact that can have on the growth of your business. So look at the support, the people that you really need to be supportive of you, and rate in a 0 to 10, where they're at with that. And if that is like at a 1 or a 2, then that could really be impacting, on you and being able to grow your business, because you really do need the support. Your desire, and that's one of the 3 elements of success. If our desire isn't up there, then we're definitely not going to achieve the things that we want in life. It's just not going to happen, guys. You're not going to have those conversations. You're not going to go out of your comfort zone if you don't have the desire to do it. Are you being teachable? There's recently a couple of the girls have reached out and they've said, I'm not getting I can't get team, it's not happening, but I'm getting, a lot of customers. And it's, unfortunately, as reality is, it's not being teachable. Those people aren't on the Zoom, every single night. They're not on Monday night training. Tanika, if the people that missed Tanika's share last night, well, sorry, but you guys missed out, because that was absolutely amazing. And, she has been a master of being teachable. So rate yourself on that and be honest, and don't be afraid if it's a really low number. Own it and go, you know what, that's okay. I'm at a 2 here or whatever it might be, but I'm taking ownership of that and, I'm going to move on from it. And then belief in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself that you truly deserve this, are capable of doing this, then it's certainly not going to happen. So belief in yourself is massive, and that comes with myself, with the belief in myself. And I've had those roads where I just go, I just don't know if I can do this anymore. And it's not so much belief in myself, it's the little things, the challenges that come up along the way, but it does come back to that belief in myself. And what I've developed from that is my daily rituals. So I wake up every single day. John thinks I'm a nutter some mornings if he's there, and I wake up and I say it out loud. I am capable, I am willing, I am deserving, you know, those kind of things, because that is helping to develop that belief in myself. So they're the things that I use as my reflection all the time, and I check in with them. And actually it's quite interesting to keep them and see where you're at different points along your, you know, the journey, because it actually inspires you as well to keep on growing when you see that, you know, you might have been quite low on something at some point, but now you're way more higher on the scale of where you were a few months ago. And that's generally because you've gone out and, you know, did some teaching, worked on your belief in the industry, listened to some podcasts, whatever it might have been that you were struggling with. The only other one I wanted to talk about was grid, and that was mainly because some of the new girls were on, especially, you know, for Lee. I don't think Tanya, no, I don't think she's on this training, but the grid is just so important. And if you don't have the grid, guys, work your grid. I've got called out on it so many times that I'm new into this business. We start with just wanting to go through our messenger on our phone, but when you get further into this business and your messages are getting like you're starting 5 new combos a day without any other messages in there, they get lost, and then that's a potential customer that you've lost because you haven't followed up because they're so far away. So just, if you don't know where the grid is, guys, in our Team Believe, it's in our files. So you can access that. And if you need help with being able to work your grid, everyone does it a little bit different. For me personally, I have 4 grids. So I have my product grid, like my product. So for people that are just interested in product, I have a business grid. And then I kind of have like an archive of each. So that's like a product and a business that they're just not ready yet. They haven't said no, and I just move them off my normal grid and leave them there because that's not the one I look at every single day, but I'll check in on it regularly because I might want to follow up with them in a month or 2 months. And I just put a little note in there, so I shouldn't read the notes, the things that come up when they distract you. But yeah, I just put a little thing in there, you know, I put an F and then a date, so follow up at whatever date it might be. So if you want to grab that, I strongly suggest it. And I know Tanika did a lot on the grid when she did her course with Celine, and I think she's got a lot of benefit since using her grid. And once you start sharing your grid and seeing other people's grids, you get a little bit, I guess, motivated and I don't know, you get the fear. I can't even think of the words to use, but Tanika shared someone's the other day and she's like, wow, look at this girl's grid, you know, so it inspires you to go, I want a grid like that. So don't be afraid to put your grids up, guys, because we would love to see everyone's grids on, you know, what they're doing every single day. I had to keep it really quick tonight because I have got a Zoom with Adam with a new teamie, so to get her started strong, which is one of the most important things about our business. So I have to jump off and go onto that Zoom with her because hopefully she's going to rock the business. But I don't know what Tinker's got to share, so I'm going to have to see the recording tomorrow. If she's anything like last night, then I'll probably be in awe again. So thank you guys for on. But yeah, you'll be on for a while if she's going to share all that because it's pretty awesome. So thanks, guys.
Thanks, hon. Yeah, good luck.
Thanks.
Okay, I'll just that's better. I'll put it on gallery view actually. Thanks, girls, for turning your cameras on. I just really like, because we're just doing our small team training, I think there's probably no reason that you can't show your beautiful faces, and it just helps us to connect with who we're talking to and get familiar with each other's faces and not be talking to a black computer screen. So tonight I don't really have all that much to cover because I wasn't sure how long Kyla was going to go for and also how long our Zoom was going to go for. But I think we did amazing. Like, we covered a lot of everything that we always usually cover, but we really just condensed it and focused on those really important points. So I think we did an amazing job for our first week to cut it down to 45 minutes. And for those who spoke, thank you very much. And it was very direct and straight to the point, but still covered all the important things. So tonight I just wanted to touch briefly on customer care. Because it is one of our very important points in our business, and it really does help our business to grow. Customers are very, very important, as we all know. And I think, to be honest, I kind of have slackened off with my customers because I've kind of gone into management mode, and I probably shouldn't have been there. I mean, I'm so happy to be there for my team, and that's what we all do, right? But I really realised that I needed to start focusing on my customers as well, and just to touch base with them. So I'll just quickly run through what we all should be doing, and I'm sure some of you do, and I try and do it, and I'm getting more conscious of it now as time's going on. But so within the first 7 to 10 days, your customer's going to be receiving their product. So after about I'd say a week, just touch base with them. Hey, how you going? Just checking if you've received your special delivery, and then you know where you are with the customer. If they say, yep, got it yesterday, okay, or no, haven't yet, touch base again in a couple of days, and then just ask them once they have their product to really focus on how they're feeling before they start on the product, because I think so many people aren't really in tune with how they're actually feeling, because they're so used to just going day to day feeling exactly the same. And if you're just pointing it out by asking those questions, like get them to jot down, take note of the energy levels that you have at 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Take note of how you're feeling when you wake up in the morning. Do you feel like you want to press the snooze button and go back to sleep? Are you dragging yourself out of bed every morning? And then with health, I'd be asking them just to be conscious of if they're getting headaches weekly, or if they're like, sounds like a crazy one, but my gums and my daughter's gums used to always bleed religiously, like every time we brushed our teeth. And it wasn't until probably a month ago, Evie said to me, Mum, my gums don't bleed anymore. And I stopped, and I thought, you know what, mine don't actually either. And honestly, it's Juice Plus, because that's the only thing that has changed in our diets. And that's one of the things that they do have studies on, to say that it really helps with teeth and gum health. So, if you're just pointing out these things and asking these questions to your customers before they start on the product, and then you're going down and asking them again within like 2, 3, 4 months, those same kind of questions, because it does take you asking them those questions for them to really stop and think about it. And I find if I don't do this, and I message them in 2 or 3 months, how you're going, they might say that they really don't notice much difference. And we are focusing on the internal benefits that they're getting, and it's working on a cellular level. It's helping dramatically with their DNA. It's doubling their immunity. It's optimizing their heart health, like all of these internal things, but they're not feeling that, right? So they want to know feelings about what they can see with their skin, with their hair, with their nails, with their energy, and things like that. So I think it's really important to ask those questions. And then after about a month, message them again, check in on them, asking how they're going with the product. Are they being consistent? It's really, really important that they start off being consistent, so that they're flooding their body with those nutrients every single day to receive the maximum benefits, and to start noticing those benefits and the different changes that are going to happen to them earlier on, rather than being hit and miss with the product. They're not going to get the full benefits. And then probably another month after that, I would just check in with them again, because it's really about building relationships with our customers. And it's so easy for a customer just to cancel an order if they don't have that strong relationship with us. It's way easier and it's much harder for them to cancel out of a relationship than it is with just a product. So if they know that you're there for them, and you can set up a customer chat message, which I've only done over the last month. So I add all my customers to that chat group, and I might just post a nice inspirational message for them for the day, or I might post a recipe from our JBT program, which they all have access to, but it might just inspire them and go, oh, wow, I feel like that. I'm going to cook that tonight. And just to have that really nice little community feel amongst your customers. And you'll find after a while that they'll start putting things in there as well and adding value to all of your customers amongst each other. So I think it's really, really important to try and connect with your customers and not just sell them the product and they don't hear from you. They're going to cancel if they're not feeling amazing results. But if you're really honing in and asking them those quality questions with how they're feeling, and you're building up a really strong relationship with them and they know that you're there for them every step of the way, they're going to have less chance of cancelling after the 4 months, which is what you want. So that's just a little bit on customer care, because I know we don't talk about it a lot in training or anything because we're really focusing on, you know, building our strong team and helping our girls with stuff. But it is really, really important. So I'd really like you girls, if you're not doing it already, to just start doing that with your customers. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was end of month reports. So is everyone fine with how you print out your end of month report, or even by doing it a week before the end of month, just so you can go through your customers and to see if you have any declined payments? So you'll get an email, which you should have got one on Monday, and you'll get it every Monday with your customer genealogy report. If you print that out and then you'll see a column, I think it's about 3 columns in from the right-hand side, and it'll just have a letter. So A is for active, which means the customers are still obviously active in the system, and D will be declined. So D means that a payment has tried to come out of their bank account for the month, but they haven't had the money in there, or they might have changed accounts and forgot to let us know. So the ones that have a D, they're the ones that you really need to follow up with before the end of month, because as you're building your business and you're looking at qualifying your business, these are really, really important. And if you're kind of on that 1,800 points for qualifying and one of your customer payments gets declined, that's basically meaning that you're missing out on that $100 just by not going through your reports to try and chase up one payment, which would have meant that you would have got an extra $100 in your bank account. So I would be not leaving this until the last day of end of month. I would be printing out the report that you got emailed to you on Monday, going through your customers and making sure that you all have A's down the side of all of your customers. And obviously C means cancelled, so if the order's been cancelled, there'll be a C. I hope that none of you girls just print out your report and then see a C and go, oh shit, they've cancelled, because that's really just giving you a true reflection that you haven't built that relationship up with them, and they don't even feel comfortable to message you and talk to you about the product or tell you that they've cancelled. They don't have that relationship. They're ringing head office straight away and cancelling their order because they feel more comfortable doing that. So yeah, that's one really important thing that I think you need to look at. So does everyone know how to read your reports and things like that? Does anyone want to take themselves off mute and ask any questions? Probably with the newbies it might be a little bit overwhelming, but it's good just to listen to, because this is how you learn. And you know, we all started off in the business. I knew nothing, and it's obviously a teaching business, so we're all here to really help you and reach up to your uplines or whoever and get your questions answered, because I was messaging Kylie a million times a day in the beginning. I knew nothing and I wanted to know everything. And I would always apologise to her, and she's like, don't apologise to me, that's what I'm here for, you know. And I think now, after being in the business for 8 months, it's the ones that you don't hear from, your teamies that you don't hear from, that you start to get worried about. So, you know, as uplines, we like to get messages, because that goes to show us that you're having those conversations and you're reaching another level where you need to find out more information. So does anyone want to take themselves off mute if you've got any questions, Beck?
Yeah, just on, would you mind just running through briefly where we actually find out? I just want to double check that I have actually qualified this month. So I just need to make sure I'm looking in the right spot.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I've got a step-by-step thing because it's a bit hard. If you go into,
send it through.
Yeah, I might do that because there's a few steps that you need to get to, and then
you can look at it at the same time when you're actually online.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
But if you go by your just briefly, and just to give the rest of you girls a bit of an idea as to just roughly gauge where you are at this time of the month, as we're getting close, we only have like 6 days to end of month. When you open up your virtual office and you'll get to that home page, and you'll see in the top left-hand corner PVC and POB. So if you're looking at the PVC amounts and you're getting up to like 1,600, 1,700, something like that, that means that you're really close to qualifying, because you want that amount to be over 1,800. So Beck, just to give you a little bit of a rough idea for now, if you wanted to just when you jump off, have a look at that and see where you're at. Obviously, your direct debits that are coming out towards the end of the month, so say for customers that you might have put on last month that ordered, say on the 30th, those orders aren't going to be showing up yet. But you can't leave it until the 30th or the 31st to all your customer orders go through, because then if you're one order short, you don't really have much time to chase that order up to make sure you qualify. So it's a good time now just to have a look and see where you're at and what you need to do. But also another thing I always do at the end of every month, so it's usually because our system's based in America, it does have a bit of a delay. It doesn't get updated on the 1st, and it's usually the 2nd or the 3rd. But if you just keep opening up your virtual office, and you'll see if your numbers are still high for the end of month amounts, write it down, because that gives you an idea for the next month what you finished on last month, and then you can go by that and add on any customer orders that you've put on this month. So say last month you finished on 1,900 and you've put through 3 customer orders and they're all premiums, you add on the 1,900 plus the 88, 88, 88. So I always just write down in my diary at the end of every month my PVC and my POB, and then I can just go from there after that for the following month.
And off that, you take off any wholesale orders or any paid in fulls.
Exactly, yeah. So the wholesale orders that you put through for yourself will get counted towards your qualifying points for that month, but then you lose them the following month.
So if you put through a premium order, a premium wholesale order, you'd get the 4 lots of 88. So you get the 352.
Exactly. Yeah, you get the whole amount of points for that month. Yeah, then you won't get anything. And it's the same with the customers. If you have any customers that pay in full, I have a couple of customers like that because they do have that option. So if they pay in full every 4 months, then you're going to accumulate a lot of those points in that month, but then nothing from them for the following couple of months. So, we don't encourage it because it's hard to keep track when you're looking at qualifying points and stuff. But obviously, if that's what they want to do, we have to allow that. Yeah. So does anyone else have any other questions before we head off?
I'll just say one thing I just made a note of while you were talking before about checking in with customers at the 1 week mark. I got this from one of Tracy B's tips, but I've been asking our customers to send me a photo when their order arrives, so I know that that it's arrived and what they've got. And this happened this week. A new customer, a friend in New Zealand, I said, send me a picture. And I'm so glad she did, because she sent it to me and said, was this everything? I thought there might have been more. And all she got was berries. She didn't get her other half of the order. So she might not have let me know for another few days. So then I chased it up with the head office and they're getting over there. But there's been a couple of people, and Tracy had one as well, I think, that send me a picture and you realise that berries wasn't there, or something wasn't there, or something was missing. So
that's a really good idea, because it is confusing.
And they get excited because they send you a picture, they're like, here it is, it's all here. Yeah.
And then you can say, feel free to post it on Facebook.
Yeah, tell your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a really good idea to do that, because they do get confused sometimes, I think, when they first receive their orders. It's like, so I've only got 4 bottles, you know, is one bottle going to last me a month? And it's like, no, one bottle will last you 2 months, but you should have 3 bottles for the 2 months. So that's a really good idea to do that. All right, I think, so let's just try and, you know, rock this end of month and follow up with some people that you might have been having conversations with earlier in the month that you haven't heard back from. End of month's really good for doing that, and I always do that for, you know, the last 5 or 6 days. I'll go through my messages and just see who I had messaged originally, and don't see it as hassling them. Like, they've obviously reached out to you or they've shown interest in the product, and we all know how crazy busy all of us mamas' lives are with juggling kids and work and families and everything. And you'll find so many times when you follow up with them, they just go, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I totally forgot. Yes, I'm ready to order, or I've been thinking about it and, you know, I'll order next month, or, you know, something like that. So I think it's really good that you don't mind my naked daughter. You'll get used to her, Lee, don't worry. She's cracking up at you.
Mummy, what time do I have to go to bed?
In a minute. Just give me 5 more minutes.
In a minute? What's the time?
Eve?
Can I have something to eat?
Yes, an apple.
No, I want to.
Shush. So I think that's a really good way just to, you know, get some inspiration and some motivation. And if you've set yourself some customer goals for the month and you still haven't done it, think of how good you're going to be feeling at the end of the month if you know that you've done everything and you've actually achieved that goal, instead of looking at it and going, you know what, it didn't happen. Oh, well, let's try for next month, you know, because that slows your business down and it doesn't help you grow as a person either when you're not feeling that satisfaction at the end of each month. When you look back at the goals that are on your vision board and you've written them down and you're like, yep, done that. So, have an awesome week, girls, and just yell out if you have any questions or anything. I think Tanya's gone, but I won't share much more tonight, but I will cover some of the other things with you girls maybe next week at Team Training if we don't have too much to chat about, just some of the things that I spoke to on Adam's Start Strong call last night. But yeah, have an awesome week, and I shall talk to you soon, girls. Bye.
There's no more.